Welcome to Across the Ring. My name is William Mayhem Michaels.
And this is the scientist, Carl Schupfer, and today we're here with Sincere. How are you?
What's up, Warriors? Sincere here. I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling good. I even though I lost this weekend, but I'm here doing an interview with Across the Ring. What more could I ask?
Hell yeah.
So, Sincere, before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Um, well, I'm born and raised from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a Native American from the Salt River Pima Maricopa tribe. I'm also Mojave from Needles, California, uh, also known as Ahamakaw, people of the river. Um, when I'm not wrestling, um, I'm doing my traditional stuff. Bird singing, that's what this is for, because my family was very traditional. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Hell yeah. So, how did you first get introduced to wrestling, like as a fan?
My family used to get together a lot. We used to have barbecues, whenever they had the pay-per-views, because growing up kind of in the I wouldn't say poor part of the area, but we'd all have to chip in for, or like my auntie or one of my uncles would get one of the pay-per-views, so all the family would get together and throw a little barbecue just so we could watch the wrestling together. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really big of a fan. I was a little knucklehead. I was out there running around in the streets doing what I do. But other than that, um, what kind of kept me interested was all the different characters and just the way they could keep my attention for more than a minute. Honestly, that's honestly what I can say is just like how they just the way they like I said they captured my attention and with the characters and the larger than life attitudes that each individual had from like mankind to Undertaker and Stone Cold, even Farouk and Nation of Domination, because there was really many Native Americans represented in there, so I didn't really, couldn't really connect with a lot of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that was kind of the era I really liked a lot. Like you named a bunch of wrestlers I love as well. So totally get how that would have pulled you in. But yeah, definitely tough that, there wasn't a whole lot of representation from that aspect. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of some of the names you already mentioned, who were some of the people that you really caught your eye when you were watching?
When I was watching was like the Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Edge, Christian, the Dudley Boys, all those guys. And then even the ECW, I like New Jack and the Gangsters, that's what drew me really, you know what I mean? That because I can relate up to them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Those are a bunch of great wrestlers. So fan of wrestling, you have these different guys that really pulled you in. You're like, this is a pretty cool thing, this wrestling thing. What made you decide to become a wrestler, and how did you get into training?
Um, a couple of years ago, ended up getting pulled over, and I got a DUI, and it was an extreme DUI that got reduced down. And I lucky enough that I have a loving girlfriend that was willing to pay my lawyer fees and kept me out of jail. So I ended up trying to go to more independent wrestling shows with my brother because they were trying to keep me out of trouble and just like give me an alternative. And I just and it, you see me back in the day, I was kind of chunky, but I was still in shape, like enough to keep myself defending. That's what I like to say. Um, and then I was like, hey, I can probably do this. And it sounds messed up, but I look way in better shape than a lot of the guys that were wrestling at the time. They happened to have a new training school opening up in Mesa, Arizona, and I was happened to be part of the second class, and I was pretty proud to say that. And that I made it onto it because you have to try out and excruciating, rigorous trainings and stuff. And like even before you get to step into the ring, You have to learn how to take the ring down and put it up. And then on top of that, you have to be physically fit before you even get inside the ring. And that's another 3 months of straight just rolling. I like to say I came up in the old school way because I had to earn my way up and earn my way into the ring. But things that happened like the way I wanted over there, so I ended up switching over to independent promotions, AWA, and training over there, and gaining the name Luchador.
That's pretty sweet. That's quite the journey, going from, kind of hitting like a rock bottom kind of moment, and that turning into like the spark that allowed you to drive into this whole new chapter of your life that seems to be pretty positive.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, even since I've met Sincere, dude, you've lost like serious weight.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I've seen the videos of you and Too Cool, P Fresh, my boy,
Yeah.
doing your workout videos. But yeah, like Carl says, it's pretty cool that you went from that moment of like I might have ruined my life to now I have a new lease on life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. So, you got into wrestling, you started training and stuff like that. As you're kind of going through that, and even now, who are some of your biggest supporters of you being a wrestler?
Pretty much my whole community. It's surprising to say, but I don't like to flex. But we have my new shirt merch that just came out, and I already have 25 pre-orders. And
Wow.
that's just from community members alone. I like to say they're all my cousins in a distant way because if you're all from the same reservation, one way or another, we're related. So. Like I don't know if you're familiar, but I know Will is. But P Fresh, he happens to be from my community, Zero Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're not. I don't know if we're cousins, but with his last name, I'm pretty sure we're distant cousins.
That makes sense. So awesome that you have such a huge community supporting you, backing you, giving you that motivation to be a big wrestler and all that stuff. Obviously they're a big influence on you, giving you that spark. But who are some of like the wrestlers that you pull influence from with like the style of wrestling you do?
Recently, mostly Jacob Fatu. He really resonates with me, and like more of the Fatu dynasty. Like they're Pacific Islanders. I'm not saying there's like a lot of resemblance, but I can say we can both say heritage wise and traditional wise, we can relate a lot. So I like how he's able to still be himself, but at the same time it enhance his character, just like me. Like I don't like to say I have a gimmick; it's just me more enhanced.
Right, and that makes sense for anyone that has seen you wrestle. So one thing I've noticed when you come out, you often bury the Arizona flag, and you're covered in the colors. What kind of inspired that for you?
Originally I like to just throw it to the Phoenix, Arizona, but at the same time I couldn't really just place myself in Phoenix because I have family in Mesa, all the way in Casablanca, all the way in Tucson, all the way down to Parker. So I was like, you know what? I'm not just gonna throw it all under the state of Arizona. And like in my song says, I don't care if you're white, black, Mexican, Asian, Native American, and that's what was cool in my song is he's Latino and he mentioned Native Americans, and that's what was dope to me, and that's what kind of also inspired me to put everything under the Arizona banner because Arizona, Texas, and California, we all kind of have that. If you're from there, there's like we're all kind of connected, even though there's like we're separated, we all can still be have to live along together.
That's pretty sweet.
So, you mentioned earlier, a lot of your community supports you, and you already have so many pre-sales. I've been to a lot of your matches. I've met your brother and stuff like that. Outside of your community, your family-wise, who would you say is your biggest supporter out of them? Would it be your brothers? Because I see them like
Yeah,
every one of your matches.
yeah. They are. They also they funded me every now and then. Like a couple of Arizona the flags. He got me. He was like, you know what? That'd be kind of cool to go ahead and go ahead to sell that or give it away. Do what you got to do with it in order to help you. Get your character and like. I was able to give a couple little fans, my just a flag, and even though to me that was just like, eh, but like you know what I mean. I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal, but to them that was everything. If that makes sense. Not that it wasn't a big of a deal, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like especially for like a kid, like having like an interaction with a wrestler can be like such a huge moment, and like, you know, fans, they obviously love wrestling and that's why they're there. So like when you have like a personal interaction like that to get like something like that, that's something that really sticks with the fans. So the fact that you do stuff like that to really connect with fans, that's that tells us that you clearly go the extra mile to try to be the best wrestler you can be.
Right. And I want to add on to that. There's a lot of stories that we hear from people that they went to independent wrestling, they got something from the wrestler, caught something, or had some type of special like interaction with the wrestlers, and then they themselves become wrestlers. And then they're like, hey man, it's because of you.
Right.
And that happens a lot. So that's super cool.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much why I do what I do because I would hope to inspire at least one kid, to go ahead and try to take that route and hope to keep the legacy of wrestling alive.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. So, speaking of, kids and family and people, outside of wrestling, when you're not being a wrestler, you're not, maybe watching wrestling, stuff like that. What do you like to do with your time?
Um, I do a lot of hiking. I try to keep it with my daughter and my lady because when I'm not wrestling, I'm working or at the gym or trying to do keep a little bit of funding in the house because my job's very paying as it is, and with everything going up, you kind of have to have a side hustle just to keep everything afloat. So for the most part, when I'm not wrestling, I'm hiking, trying to spend time with my daughter, my baby mama as much as I can.
And I feel that. Me and my daughter have done a lot of hiking since we moved here. We've hiked like Red Mountain, Jerome, Sedona, all over Arizona. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful places here to see.
Yeah.
But I also know that you're a Jordan guy.
Yeah.
Do you got like a small collection? Because I know at the batting cages, I see some fresh J's on your feet.
Yeah, I try to keep it, 100 with the shoes. Now that I can afford, and pretty much almost any shoe that you wanted as a kid is now accessible. As back then, it was either sold out or you had to wait for pre-sales on all that. And I wasn't fortunate enough to get all that, but now that I can afford it, and you can go to like the shoe stores and get them. I mean they're expensive, but I ain't gonna lie, I'll pay pretty penny for these shoes.
I feel it.
Like I don't have them on right now. My favorite ones I can say are my Pippins.
Oh, nice.
And then going back to my brothers, that me and him got matching Pippins. That's why I love them.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is really cool. Yeah, I'm definitely a guy that's got a few Jordans in his closet, so definitely a fan of that as well. I know, Will, you're a shoe guy.
Yeah, I used to collect Jordans. When I was in Afghanistan, one of my best friends and I had a competition to see who had the most Jordans when we got home. I stopped at 48.
Oh damn!
He doubled mine.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But my daughter went shopping with my wife and brought home LeBrons.
Oh dang!
I was like, no, don't do that.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I rock with the Kevin Durant. So
yeah, I like the
I don't know
Durants.
about bronze, but the Durants I'll go with.
There we go. I know. I think also too. You're a little bit of a gamer as well, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So, what kind of games do you like to play?
I play Ark, Call of Duty, a lot of Ark though. That's
Okay,
my favorite.
that's a pretty cool game with like the dinosaurs and everything going on.
Yeah, yeah. You're like a hunter. You gotta, take them down, kill them, train them.
What I love about it is my first ever video game that I loved was Ages of Empire,
I thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
right? So Ark is like Ages of Empire on steroids.
yeah.
And me and my family lost a lot of time on Ark. I love that game.
Same.
Heck yeah. So guys, while we're talking about gaming, let's talk about Doobie. Doobie is a great drink for anyone that needs energy. It gives you all the high without the lows. No jitters, guys. It's great for gamers, podcasters, and anyone that just needs a pick me up. Doobie's great.
And just don't forget, if you put in across the ring at checkout, you'll get 10% off, which is, hey, that maybe pays for shipping. I don't know, but that's a heck of a deal.
That's right.
So to get back into, talking about wrestling, you mentioned things didn't go so well for you in your last match, but right now, do you find that you've been kind of sticking around a couple promotions, or are you looking to travel?
I'm looking to travel. Like right now, I don't know. I don't think really anybody really knows, but we just recently came back from Idaho with AWA. And we're looking to go to Utah, I believe in October, and then Nevada and Las Vegas. I mean, Las Vegas in November.
Wow.
That's cool.
Is
Is
that all with the AWA?
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool.
And that's why I'm pretty happy with the promotion I am. I don't try to say I helped build it, but I feel like I gave a little bit more eyes to something that wasn't really having the traction that it needed to have.
That's pretty sweet. What are some of your favorite parts about getting to work with them?
My favorite part is that I can experience the best of both worlds. Like with them, I can be a luchador, and I got to do more showmanship and more because I'm a rudo over there, a bad guy. I got to do more machismo, and make sure I like let them know I'm the man. And now as compared to over here, since I'm American, they know my style, and I know the American style, so we can get down and do what we need to do to get the crowd connected.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I like about it.
That is-
so. Sorry, go ahead, Carl.
Go for it. No, go for it.
So one of my favorite things that I see you do, I haven't been to an AWA show, but I want to. But what I've seen you in the AWF is the whole Taker walk the ropes thing. I love that.
Old school.
Yeah. I tried to take something that for my favorite wrestler that I can also incorporate, but I don't think a lot of people see it. But when I come down, I don't do like what he did. I do a tomahawk.
Tomahawk. Okay, cool.
Nice. Put your own little spin on it. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So as you continue to wrestle and grow your notoriety and stuff like that, what are some of your goals for the future?
Right now, I'm just riding the wave. I'm not. I don't really think that far ahead because honestly, I don't even think I was gonna be here right now. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still kind of in awe that everything's going the way that it's going. So I haven't really thought that far ahead. I'm just more or less just coasting, and right now my goals that I have planned right now to the end of the year is just to get better and just kind of not ride my rookie year out, but how do I say expand more, try to do more what I can in my last 4 months as my rookie year before I feel like I have to step my game up even more.
Sure, that makes sense. Like, yeah, it's always a good, it's a tough mix of trying to balance between, being in the moment, enjoying what you're doing, and then also, trying to figure out, okay, how do I, get better and better, with every try, and like, it's always that tough balance. But the fact that you're kind of thinking about like, hey, enjoy the ride, have some matches, have a good time, put on a good show, that's a good mindset to have. And I think that's really cool. But so to ask you, we got some tough questions as well. So, the first one is, what is that thing that you do that you think everyone else could do but doesn't?
Connect with the crowd more, or at least try to find a different way to be a bad guy, I guess. Because a lot of these guys, I feel like, are getting too into themselves, if honestly. And if anything, that's about it. Just to try to connect with the crowd more, rather than just like, oh, I know we're supposed to be professionals, but at the same time, it's okay to fucking be like, hey, give a little fist bump to somebody over here or there, especially like when we're in the back.
Sure.
Like walking from crowd to crowd, like from point A to point B, happen to be, I don't know, care if it's a guy or a kid, they happen to pay for you to come see you. The least you can do is stop and not give them a whole like 15-30 minute conversation, but at least a fist bump if you're in a hurry.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because sorry, the other thing is a lot of them don't do is that I do. I stay in gear up until the very end. Sometimes I even ride in my gear home just because I know I'm gonna get stopped on the way to my car. And so like sometimes I feel messed up if I didn't stay in my gear for this person or this person just to take a picture with me. If they really waited all this whole time, even for me to say goodbye to everybody, help tear down the ring, and then they're still waiting for me to take a picture or even just to say hi, then I don't mind, staying in my get up, sweaty and whatever, getting dirty, just so I can at least take a picture.
I love that because, a lot of times, after a show and stuff, like you've had such a great time, you saw some great matches, and like the first thing you want to do is like reach out and be like, hey man, that was so awesome. Thank you for doing this and all that. And it's that much cooler, when you're still, in your gear and, be able to get that quick selfie or whatever, like, that can be, a great memory for somebody that, down the line at the next show, they'll be like, man, that guy was awesome. I'm going to definitely root for him, or maybe I'm going to buy his shirt or whatever. Like, that's super cool.
Yeah, so Sincere, what do you think is something that that everyone else should know?
Mind your P's and Q's. We all hear everything. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
It's a good tip.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we've had a really great time today, man. Like, we learned a lot about you, a lot about, your background, your family, how you think about wrestling, stuff like that. And I think a lot of people listening to this interview are going to say that you're a pretty cool dude. But some fans, they're hard sells, they takes a lot to win them over. They're like, give me more. All right. So for those fans that are, still holding out, waiting for more, what do you have to say to those fans that are asking, why should I come see you wrestle?
Come out and see me. Let me show you the connections that I can make you feel. A lot of people come up to me and tell me, hey, you made me feel that when I was a kid again, like you actually made me invested into this. You gave me some emotions that a lot of guys are just going through the emotions, and at least with me, you can see the pain and the suffering with almost every hit, every mad slam, every bump I've taken. You can see the emotion in it.
I love
that. That's what makes me more unique and makes me want you to come see me. I want you to feel that connection back to when you were a kid again.
Yeah, that's great, man. Like, that's what everybody wants, right? Wrestling at the end of the day is all about emotion, right? Like, we all want to be invested. We want we want to be on the edge of our seats and be like, what's going to happen next in this match? Who's going to be victorious? And, the fact that you're able to make that connection with fans and people are pulling you aside to say, like, hey, man, like, that was freaking great. Like, that just says a lot. And it says that there is a ton of potential for you. And, sky's the limit.
All right, guys, it comes the time to close up the show. Sincere, I would like to take this time, man, and thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely, brother. And guys, if you want to follow Sincere on Instagram, it's Phoenix602 Sincere. And do you have a website for your merch?
I don't, not yet.
Okay.
Right now, currently, anybody that wants the merch, All Star, and then I got my name on the back. You can DM me personally.
There you go, guys. And also to remind you, make sure you're following us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify. Yeah. As far as the podcast goes, we're all over the place. Pandora, all of that. It's Across the Ring, one word. And guys, remember, you never know who'll be across the ring.